Hi.
Hi, how are ya? Okay, we get to see Jackie's other half. Look at this,
Yeah.
guys. What a
And,
treat.
yep.
Yes. So we are live, but we're just waiting on folks to join. It said two people were waiting. I assume that was me and you.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm trying to figure
Yeah.
out how to. There we go. Oh, yep. I see me. Ooh, how
Yeah.
weird.
It's a lag.
Ooh.
It's a weird
Yeah.
thing. It's like we'll see each other talk, and then 5 seconds later, it'll blah, 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 say what we're saying. So yeah,
I'm
I
like
just keep
that.
my I keep my volume down and try to keep,
I
you know.
I put it on mute. I put
Yeah,
it on mute. Yeah.
you're good. Yeah, you
Hmm.
should be good then. Perfect. Okay, today, guys, if you guys are watching us in the replay, because it doesn't look like anybody's here yet, but there will be. But yeah, we are talking to Jackie of Jack's Bag Attack in the house. Hello. CJ is here. Hey girl, how's it going from Essex, UK? So we
Oh
got some night
wow,
birds, some night owls on tonight because it's
that's pretty cool.
yeah, it's 10 over there, 10 or 11, yeah.
Nancy from
Nancy,
Massachusetts. Hmm.
Nancy from Massachusetts. If you live here, we call it Massachusetts.
Oh really?
Yeah, my mom always said Massachusetts. I actually kind of a girl I worked with, her brother lived there, and she always said it, and I said it's really not Massachusetts, and she goes, no, that's how they pronounce it. I go, I don't
Are
think
you
so.
sure?
It's spelled Massachusetts, so I kind of think we're just kind of lazy and don't say the whole thing right. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Massachusetts
There, that might be better.
or
Oh
Mass.
nope, that just had me rotated on. Nope,
Yeah,
that did not work.
it
Yeah.
won't keep up with your, like your, yeah.
Yep. There we go.
But
I don't
I
know
did
where
that
my
at first
phone
too.
stand
Everybody
is.
tries that
Yeah.
like a better,
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe I'll, yeah.
Yeah. No.
So we thought we would talk about, I know every time I put makeup on this eye lately, since, I don't know, it started spring and the pollen and all
Yeah. This spring has been murder. I
yeah,
everybody is bleeding. Have you seen Candy's her last video? Her
yeah,
eyes
she
are
was,
weeping. Yeah.
yeah, this one eye on me is, and especially if I put any kind of makeup on, I mean, it just pours at night because I lay down, when I'm laying down, I just am
Caleb.
constantly like, yeah. So,
Hi, Caleb.
yeah, Nancy says we definitely say Massachusetts with the chew. Thank
Yeah.
you for, yeah, I mean, that lady and I, we had kind of a, no, it isn't. Yes, it is. No, I was like, no, it's spelled with a chew. Like, what? Okay, but anyway. Caleb Snell is in the house. Hey, Winnie and Jackie. Hey to you, my darling. I know you have a new video up today, so definitely want to get over and watch that. It looks like it's a fashion file, and there was there was
Oh, I
another
missed that. I
bag.
haven't seen that.
Yeah, he's got a new video up, and I believe it's him unboxing a couple of good bags. So we we definitely need to, when we get out of this lot, we need to go over there and
I
watch that because
love
I
his
definitely got to see what he's got.
unboxings.
He always has the best stuff.
He had
So
an Instagram photo today with his Kelly. I'm like, oh, that bag's so beautiful.
yes. Yeah. Oh, it's your top five's bag tag. Okay. Well, then I was seeing a recommended video pop up that
Mm-hmm.
wasn't new. Then okay,
Well,
I
I haven't
got
seen
you.
that one.
Okay,
Hey,
gotcha.
Lisa.
Definitely. So you are getting pushed, Caleb. That's nice, right? She is stunning. Yeah, that bag. I probably wouldn't carry anything else. I just get in the one bag.
I think I would be afraid to carry it.
I would be, but that's why I don't want a pristine one. I don't
Yeah.
want a nice one because I feel like I would do it kind of like her and just let it sit there and, eye candy all the way. And that's okay. This bag doesn't carry crap. So if I'm really going to carry this bag, it's a day carry only. Same with this little
Really?
sparkler number. It's just a day carry. But these are the hardy bags that I don't mind. getting into it.
All the
'Cause
looks, none of the substance. Like, we can't
yeah,
hold
yeah,
stuff, but we look great.
looks beautiful, but there's nothing. What are you gonna do for me? Like, you're gonna do one outfit, a really glorious thing, and then not so much. Yeah, and
And this is
I
why
beg to differ. Do you
this is why
feel
when you
like the
travel, you know,
do what
you when you travel, you need 5 bags because, that little
you
bag isn't gonna
do?
do everything.
No, it's not. And I feel like monogram. That's what I was gonna say because I feel like a lot of people think, oh, monogram goes with everything, but monogram really doesn't go with everything for me. Like, I know there's some specific things, like, I'm like, I want to carry this bag, but it doesn't look good at all. Not that I go out and I'm jeans and t-shirt gal, so
Yeah.
nothing really. Like, I could carry this bag all the time with everything. It goes with red. There's some green in it. There's some monogram. There's some brown. Yeah, I feel like if I let myself, I could carry this forever and just be as happy
The
as I.
cherries?
Yeah. I feel like I don't want for anything. And the same with the garden party, the beat up one. I just feel like I could carry that. And I'm not ashamed. Like, my daughters are like, you're not ashamed to carry that carpet bag around. I'm like, no, I'm really
I
not.
love that garden party. I
I
think I have a
do too.
picture. There
I
there we
got
go.
nothing
Now they
wrong with
stop
it.
shrinking. Yeah.
I would probably, if they were more affordable, and
You
if
mean
I
our
wasn't
$3,000?
yeah, yeah, if they weren't that much, I probably would, if they were in the $500 to $1,000 range, buy a couple and switch them out, and I wouldn't mind carrying, but they're so damn expensive just for a canvas or a leather. I would like the canvas one, but yeah.
Somebody wants to say hi.
Hi, puppers! Oh my gosh! Now, what's this one's name?
This was Milo. He's a Great
Milo.
Dane.
Okay,
And
and
this
the
is
pug here.
Watson.
Okay, here comes the
'Cause
pug.
now he's jealous. I'm petting his brother. He's like, "Excuse me."
Oh, he's so cute. I have that exact shirt. We have the same shirt. You know that.
Yay!
Yeah.
And it's on special.
We're shirt twins. Yeah, I think I bought mine. I don't think I got it at Disney. I think I bought it at like a store around like Gabe's or something for like
Well,
$7.
here's the thing about Disney. The shirts at Disney are $40 to $80.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Mm-mm. No, do you ever guys ever go off to that outlet that they have in Orlando? There's a
Oh yeah,
Simon's there.
absolutely. Oh yes,
Love
Milo
that. I
is very
love.
tall. Milo is a 130-pound Great Dane, by the way.
Yeah,
And
that's a big dog.
yeah,
Yeah.
he is. There's actually a really good photo or moment.
Oh my gosh, look, he looks so regal laying there, just like,
Oh
hey.
yeah, he's the most photogenic dog ever. He is
That's
very spoiled, extremely.
he is a beautiful dog.
Oh,
I'm telling
he's
you.
he's a couple bags worth because of the cost of his medical bills.
I'm
It's worth
sure.
all
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, Bill's boss, his boss's daughter, she used to have 3 or 4 at one time. And then they all started getting some kind
Yeah.
of weird thing. They got sick and
There's certain breeds that are
it's
prone to
just
different types
yeah.
of illnesses, and Danes, I think it's a bone issue that
Yeah.
they get, yeah,
Yeah.
and stomach issues. But he's
Mhm.
he's 8.5, and Daneland, that's old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying.
Mhm.
I think she had one that was 10 that
Yeah,
she
that's very
yeah.
old.
Yeah, and
If you have a 12-year-old Great Dane, you are blessed because they normally don't live
really?
much. Yes, 10 to
Oh my
12 is their lifespan. Yeah,
wow, because they're just
that's
so
what
big.
they call them, the heartbreak breeds, because they don't live that long.
Oh, that does.
Mhm.
Yeah. How old's your pug?
We don't know. He's a rescue, so it's like
Oh.
they're both rescues, but the Great Dane came with papers, and this one,
Mhm.
because he owner surrendered, and little Watson, he was just like found. So we know he's not a puppy, and he's not a senior, so he's somewhere in between.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marilyn, my dog is a Schnauzer pug. So some of the litter, most of the litter looked like pugs, except for her. She had the perfect mix of the pug body with a curly
Mhm.
tail, but she didn't have the face. She had the face of more of a Schnauzer. But yeah, the pug's there, so she's like completely snug.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's go back and see if we've got any questions. And we're going to talk about where you grew up and what all kinds of bags you encountered where you're from. But some comments from, okay, so Lisa's here. Hey, girl. Hi. Caleb, we said hi. Chris says I'm late, but hey, better late than never. I'm so glad you came. Chris says Milo looks super tall. Yeah. And Caleb says hello to Milo. Milo is gorgeous from CJ. Cole says, Colin, hey girl. She's here, says hello. And Chris says, my husband and I adopt senior dogs. I've never met a Great Dane older than 10.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes
Hmm.
sense because I think they called her Sassy, either Posse or Sassy. But anyway, I think she did live to be about 10, but I could totally be just confusing her with another. I don't,
Oh no,
yeah.
I've seen them get to 12, but they were owned by vets.
Yeah.
They're the
So
reason.
they got extra care. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that. Yeah. So let me see. Now your name is actually Jacqueline, but you like to be what do your friends and family call
Okay.
it?
So Jacqueline is the name I get used that's used on me when people either have never met me, don't know me, or my mother is mad at me. That's the
Okay.
word. That's Jacqueline. Jackie is what most people casually call me, and my friends and family, my twin sister calls me Jack. I'm in Thai because I'm half Thai. The
Yeah.
problem is they can't say Jackie and they can't say Jacqueline. The words do not happen out of their mouth. So to say Jackie with a Thai accent is Jackie, which is very grating. So
Right.
my name got shortened to Jack my whole life. So my name
Okay.
was always Jack and Jen. I don't have a middle name. So my name is Jacqueline King, so JK. My sister is Jennifer King, JK,
Okay.
very inconvenient. So we both have the exact same initials. Neither one of
Yes.
us have middle names. So I was just Jack and she was Jen, and that's what everyone called us, Jack and Jen. And
Wow.
because
Okay.
we're twins, we're always together. So my parents, we answer to each other's names. If they said Jennifer, I said it's me, Jackie, but yeah, Jen's over there.
That's funny. Did you ever trade places? Did you ever parent trap anybody?
Mm. Once, and the
Yeah.
problem is my sister is an excellent actor. I am awful.
Uh,
I can't. So I'm sitting. We were in the fourth grade, and I'm in the class. I'm like,
you're like,
the
try not to
teacher's
don't say
calling roll, and I'm like, so they totally got it. They're like, "Are you Jacqueline?" I'm like, "Yes." Go get your
oh my
sister.
god. That's hilarious. That is so
So
funny. It always surprised me why they didn't keep twins together. I mean, I don't get that. Like, I think they would probably do well. There's sort of, one has characteristics the other typically doesn't. One, is very like, and the other's like, oh,
I
because,
think it's honestly because one is always more dominant than the other.
yeah.
So they don't want the one to overshadow the other one, and they want to encourage individuality in each twin.
I
Hmm.
get it.
Yeah, but we were in the same grade, so we had all the same friends. It was great. We moved. I'm a military brat, so we moved everywhere, and I always had my built-in best friend. I never worried about moving places. Like, okay, let's go. Jen's here. Let's go do this. And
Yeah,
we,
that's cool.
Jen and I could not be any more opposite if we tried. But I think we actually did try to be opposites because we are so alike. We are
Mhm.
so alike. We sound exactly alike. On the phone,
Yeah.
my mother has confused us.
Oh my
People
god.
who
And you guys
have,
look identical.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we were more identical when we were younger. As
Yeah.
we have aged, we've separated. She worships the sun, and I hide from the sun, and that has affected our
Yeah.
skin.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she,
So that, yeah, I get you on that. Yeah. I hate the old scare ball. I don't tan well. I love to put a little bronzer on, but I don't, no, I don't like that. I'm not for it. And every time I go outside, this one eye is weeping. Oh my god. So let's see here. We love a good push. Yes. Caleb, yes, needs her trash burger. We definitely need that. Or Kelly, I don't care. So let's see here. Ed is here now, and here's what we want to talk about. So you grew up in
well, mostly I grew up in a lot of places, but in the 80s, when between ages 7 and 10, I grew up in Thailand, in
Okay.
Bangkok specifically, because my mother's Thai, my dad's, Irish American and military. So before we lived in Thailand, we lived in Virginia and then Hawaii and Kansas for like a hot second. Actually, I don't think I was in Kansas. It was Hawaii, Virginia, Thailand, Michigan, and Texas. That's pretty much where we ended up. So,
Yeah.
but in the 80s, growing up in Thailand, because I'm half Thai, and then I'm talking about 84 to 89, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And we were young. So this is when we met all of our extended family. I met my grandparents or my grandmother, and then we met my aunts and uncles. So my mom was the youngest girl out of 15 children. Yeah. Yes.
Yowzer.
And so we met a lot of aunts and uncles. I relayed to everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were
That's
these
funny.
cute twins. Now we have cute twins that are half white running around Bangkok. Oh my God, we got stuff was given to us left and right. The aunties at the market was like, "Oh, do you want how cute?" So we
Yeah.
had to learn Thai for self-preservation.
I bet. I
Like
bet.
our aunts, uncles, and cousins, they didn't speak English. Like we had
No.
to. Like, my mom had been speaking Thai to us since the cradle, so like we had always spoken some Thai, and so we had to learn Thai. I can't read it, but I can speak it. I can understand it. So in the 80s, counterfeiting was everywhere. Gucci was huge. Gucci was I wore Gucci, Chanel. I wore all the sweaters. Everything was counterfeit. Not a single thing was legit. I mean, I'm 7 or 8. I didn't know.
Yeah. You just were like, yeah, check me out.
Yeah. So,
That's hilarious.
all my T-shirts were like Gucci T-shirts. I had the Gucci ribbon with the Gucci emblem. I mean, I was a
Yes.
stylish kid. And then here's the deal, though. Guess where all the counterfeit? You know how they talk about New York has Canal Street or whatever, or
Yeah.
wherever that Canal Street is.
Yeah.
Bangkok has Patpong. Patpong during the day is a business street. It is an open street that businesses are on. At night, the street is closed for traffic, and it is the red light district.
Oh.
In the red light district, all and so in the street itself, all the vendors come out, and all those vendors have counterfeits. Like we grew up wearing Chanel earrings. Like
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, it was like, I mean, all everything counterfeit you've ever. I mean, I never saw a real Chanel thing in my whole life, which is why I think I don't like Chanel now because I saw
Yeah.
it growing up only as a counterfeit item. You know,
Yeah. So,
so yeah.
you couldn't really, as far as like, I guess everybody had designer things. You grew up with that, but
Mhm.
you didn't realize which ones were real, which ones weren't. So it didn't make a difference. Just
But back
everybody had it.
But back then, in the 80s, it was pretty obvious the fakes. My mom was
Yeah.
very, very particular. And I said, "Well, Mom, why are you buying these? You have this at home. It's real." And she's like, and I was older at this point because we lived there from like 7 to about 10 or 11, but we continued to travel back to Thailand all through high school and all through college, right?
Oh, okay. So you
I
used it
haven't
quite a bit.
actually, I haven't actually been back since '04. No, no, 03,
Oh,
02 or 03.
okay. So 20
Maybe.
years.
Yes, because have you looked at prices of airplane tickets?
It's crazy.
And Thailand, if I don't say with my cousins, I will have mortally offended somebody. And I
Yeah.
don't have a month to tour Thailand. I
And
don't
is
have
it,
a
it's
month.
probably a very long flight.
2 days, 2 or 3. Well, it's not. It's 20 something hours. It's pretty bad
Yeah.
because it's like 13 hours from LAX to Taipei, which is the quick one, which is in Taiwan, and then from Taiwan to Thailand directly is like 5 hours, and that's just that's from LA. So I'm in the middle of Texas. So I have to get to
Yeah.
LA, which normally
Oh
means
my.
a stop in Phoenix, a stop at LAX, a stop in Thai, or if you go to Korea. So I've been to all the airports. So my mom currently lives in Denmark. So I know international everything, right? So
Right.
she flies to Thailand, but she goes through Dubai, and it's much easier and cheaper. I was like, oh, and
Wow.
mom's like, you need to come visit. I'm like, Mom, the cost is too expensive. I mean,
Yeah.
for me to fly there, I can buy a Louis.
Yeah.
And that's for
Exactly.
economy class.
Yeah, I know. I can't stand being cramped up on a flight. I just can't. It's just it makes me very. I want to travel, but I don't want to travel alone. I
Mhm.
don't. Bill and I can't hardly see to drive anymore, so that's kind of out. Going very far. And then flying is such a bitch. It just really is. Or you get sat next to someone that's a bitch. And I don't like that. So it's kind of like
You have
I can't
people in
afford to
a
go first class.
high stress situation
Yeah.
with in a long flight,
Yeah.
13-hour flight. No one's happy. I don't even think the people working that flight are happy.
Oh, they definitely can't be happy. I mean, no one. Everybody's pissed by the time they get there. And people do crazy things in the sky that they wouldn't normally do on the ground. So,
And
I'm
people are
out.
always worried about their luggage and their baggage, and I've because of the how you have to what's it called? Check-in baggage, and people are
Yeah.
taking more and more on flight cabin baggage. Well, then they run out of space. So as the plane fills up and they run out of space, and they tell you you must check this in. And then you
Yeah.
have people who are like, I am not checking in my XYZ brand, whatever. So people are like, designer luggage. I'm like, well, unless you own a private jet, the people on this airplane do not treat your things well.
They're
They are
not
in a
going to, for
crunch.
sure.
They toss those luggage.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Oh my god, I can't deal with it. Chris says at 6'2" and 385, I'm not a big fan of flying, especially not anything long distance, but because I don't drive, flying is the only easy travel other than train. Now I've thought about there's a Amtrak pretty like 3 hours or so from here. It doesn't exactly go through my mountainous area, but I can drive over into North Carolina and meet one in a bigger town. So I have thought about that because I've never been to New York. So I've thought about that and maybe going to see Dawn and Cammy and hanging out up there. But I thought, because that thing goes right to Philadelphia. I could just get off and stay with Dawn, which would be crazy fun because Dawn and I are a lot alike. I can get laughing at night. I know I tell you some of the stuff, but I get laughing with her at night, and we just get into like a little girl giggle fest. It's hilarious. But yeah. But so tell me more about, so you would go back and visit, and as
Oh
you
yeah.
went back to visit, the counterfeits and fakes got better, right?
They do, yeah, they're still pretty good. Like, to my naked eye, I honestly couldn't tell. So,
Yeah.
I because I never here again, up until recently, I hadn't owned a legit Louis. I had Celine was my very first um
Yeah.
well, hey, my very, very, very first designer bag was a Gucci my mom gave me. And that was cute, but I was like elementary school. Like, who gives an elementary school a Gucci bag? My mom. So
Your mom she sounds like my
yeah,
kind of gal.
when I was 13 or 14, we were in Italy and we were in Florence. Mom was there to she wanted to buy a Celine bag, and my Klaus was there because he wanted my stepfather. He wanted to get a specific watch. And we were in Turin anyway, so we drove over to Florence, and we're there, and there's a shoe sale, and Mom's trying on shoes, and she's a tiny little Asian woman. She's always looking for shoes, and I'm just taking pictures. This is old school, like 35 millimeter, pictures with a
Yeah.
camera, you know, and didn't think anything of it. We go down the road, we go pick up a couple purses, and my sister has that Celine bag still. My mother picked out the one for her. My sister hates it, never used it. She gave my she she was so mad. I mean, I felt so bad that I ended up giving her mine because I felt so
Yeah.
bad she didn't like the purse Mom picked out for her. And at that
Oh
time, it was a $400 bag. And this is
God,
in the
that's a lot of
90s.
money back then.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a lot of money. It was my
Yeah.
first designer bag that I bought
Yeah.
myself. But the funny thing about the story was when I came home, I developed the film. I was putting it in an album, and my sister's like, because Jennifer wasn't on this trip. It was just me on this trip. Um, I don't know what Jennifer's doing. We must have been a bit older then. Anyway, she looked at the photos and she's like, "Did you go in?" Go into what? Did you go into the cathedral? I'm like, oh, that one? No, Mom was looking at shoes, and I was just taking pictures of the square. And Jen's like, do you know what that cathedral is? I'm like, no. Leonardo da Vinci painted that ceiling. Are you kidding me? You didn't go into the. I was like, oops. 'Cause
What? That would have been a good picture. Oh, damn.
oops. And we had gone to the Tower of Pisa. We'd done all these touristy
Yeah.
things, and Jen said, "Well, did you go to the cathedral?" Because my sister is an art buff, and I'm like, "Jen, what cathedral? The tower is one of four, and in the middle is a cathedral." And I was like,
Oh
"No,
my God.
we were shopping for handbags."
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
Like, oh my
Oh,
god, my
good
mother.
guy. That is so funny. Oh my God. Yeah, you sent me an actual like I read the article that this lady
Oh,
wrote, but you actually sent me she did an interview with CBS,
yes,
I think,
yeah,
right?
hmm
And somebody else, maybe Becky, but somebody sent me the article that she wrote about the fakes being at this point almost indistinguishable against even someone who knows a brand very well. So it's getting quite scary buying. I don't, here's the thing, I don't mind. I don't want to get ripped off, is what I'm saying. Like if
oh
I
yeah, neither do
knew,
I.
right, like if I knew that, okay, you are selling me a pristine looking bag for 250 and the bag news 2250, but you're going to try to sell to me the fake bag. No, we're not having that. Like that's what kills me, is that they're doing it, and they're sneak, because I don't care if anybody buys what, I don't give a dang. That's not my concern or issue. I feel like people should be allowed to live their life without me telling them how, and vice versa, right?
Yeah.
I just feel that way. And I know that there'll be, a lot of people feel a certain way about fakes. And that's okay too. Everybody's entitled to an opinion and their whatever and their belief. But I really draw the line when someone is dishonest about it. That's the only, I
Well,
mean, that's the
not
drawback.
only the dishonesty, the thing is, the first person who purchases the item, the person who says, "Hey, look, I want to buy this. I know it's a replica. I want it." That's fine. It's when they're done with it and they're not destroying the item and they're
Yeah.
passing it along, and the person who got it again, they
Yeah.
don't know if you don't tell them, see, okay, this happened to me.
Yeah.
Cause y'all, if you saw my video, I was given a bag that was a fake. I didn't know that. They
Right.
told me it was real. I didn't know enough to know it
Exactly.
was fake, but I had a suspicion because I know my mother. But my mom's pretty outright. She'll tell me, "Hey, no,
Yeah.
this is fake." You know, but because she'll have a mix between real items and fake items. She goes, "Oh, I bought that at Padia. It's fake. It's not." She had a sack plat. I'm like, "Hey, that's a great bag." And mom's like, "Oh, it's fake. It's falling apart." And that's the telltale of the bad fakes are just a good looking fake, but the leather and craftsmanship will disintegrate. It will fall apart. It will look
Yeah.
good for a very short while,
Yeah. They're
and it
not
will
meant to
age
last.
bad. Even the
Yeah.
super fakes, they will age badly, but you have to have it long enough to have it
Yeah.
age.
Yeah. And I
You
give like I said, I'll show the difference between a bag, and then I'll pass it on to one of my nieces. I've got tons and tons of little girls that, they love it and they'll carry it. But they know, I say to them, no, that this is not the real thing. And, the stuff that I have gotten so far is very noticeable. Like they're not one to,
Hey,
I've never
by
gotten
the
one that's
time
like,
by the time those kids have used it, they'll be trashed no matter what.
yeah, they'll be trashed, and they love it. They're teenagers. They love that. And that's what the girl said, that she, the interviewer, yeah, exactly.
My
Yeah,
Louis never made this, but Louis inspired it.
yeah, it's an inspired bag. Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, it's just like so many, what was I even saying? I can't remember. I got,
His kids,
I got a shiny thing and went, whoa,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, the little girls, they say that they're the number one market right now. Not little girls, but to us, little Gen Zers are the market right now because they're like, stick it to the man. I'm not
Yeah, but
paying $2,800 for this bag. I bought it for $250. So what? Ha ha!
and they're proudly displaying. I've watched so
Proud.
many DH Gates like, this is what I got, and this is the seller, and this is how you need to buy it, and this is
Yeah, yeah.
and so that CNN, it was CNN, that little news reel, it was showing how people are um the availability and the ease of shopping internationally has taken away the stigma. People aren't afraid to purchase something
No.
through
Mm-mm.
these online resellers. We're used to it, so they're like, well, I'll just
Yeah.
buy it, fine,
And
you know.
they said that in that article and the interview, she also said that like 5% of the billions of products that come through customs, 5% may
Hmm.
get taken. So you run
Yeah.
the risk. I do know that I used to watch a guy who's no longer on YouTube, but that was what he traded in, and I loved watching what he got because they looked so good. But he got one time where customs had
Slashed
sliced
it.
with a
Hmm.
knife,
Hmm.
and it did not cut his bag, luckily, but it went through the top, and they just kind of, I guess, did this number and looked and saw that it was, I don't know if they were looking for drugs. I'm not sure what they were looking for, but they didn't stop it. They opened it, looked at it, ripped it open, and then taped it back up and sent it to him. So, and he told all about it on his channel, and I was like very intrigued. Like, why didn't they? Because they say, oh, we stopped tons of cosmetics, tons of bags, clothing, shoes. We stop all. They don't. They really don't. So, yeah, it's a big business. It is a big business, and I guess the design houses, it's twofold for them though. And I've said this before, but it's twofold. It's like, oh, we're pissed because you're making $200, if that. It goes through a chain. Like the salesman gets paid, the manufacturer gets paid. So there's several people down the line. They buy the goods. So it turns hands many times. But I think in the article she wrote, she said that she contacted her sales lady, and she wasn't afraid to say, I make like $45,000 from home. I can stay home with my child. That's US currency. And she said, I live a nice life this way. I don't have to get out, try to find a job. I can keep my child at home and work on my phone all day. And she didn't know who the middleman, she didn't know any of the manufacturers. She just called a warehouse. They dispatched the bag. She took pictures of it.
See,
So it
that
was
that
a,
for me is the where people say, well, it's contributing to criminal activity and terrorism, and for me, it goes, if you go down the pathway from the end consumer all the way down to the manufacturer is the original person who is taking that contract. I don't even blame the workers. They're already being subject to
no.
poor labor issues. The person at that factory that took that contract, they're the ones knowing what they're doing. The people doing
Yeah.
the work, they're just like, I'm doing what you're telling me to do. I'm just going to do this. This
And
is
it
my
had to be
job.
someone rich to
Yeah.
bankroll the operation. So
Mhm.
I would say that probably the money, but if you've ever smoked anything illegal, if you've ever done any illegal drugs, if you've ever bought moonshine, those things like that, those all contribute to that. To like it ain't only bags, honey. It's tons of stuff. So we gotta, Bill always says when people like vegetarians, or we've got some friends that don't, meats out and whatever. He's like, but you're wearing leather shoes. You got a leather belt on and a leather bag. What's going on? So,
I just watched, what was that thing I just watched? Oh, it was actually that Tanner Leatherstein guy. He
yeah,
interviewed a guy on his podcast, and I can't remember. No, Tanner is not the best orator. When you listen to his interviews, his podcasts, it can be painful.
yeah,
But if you go past that and listen to the people speaking, he has some great guest speakers. And this
yeah,
last guest speaker was talking about how actually the most sustainable way to have leather or to have goods is actually not these alternative fabrics that they keep coming up with. It's actually leather itself. And he said um, vegetable tanned leather lasts the longest. It's the most sustainable material you can actually purchase, because the chrome dyed ones will last long, but the vegetable tan dyed ones last longer. And he said that a lot of the problems with the synthetic leathers or the plastic and vegan leathers or the cactus leather or these other just new materials that they're coming out with is that they break down faster. And you're
Okay.
like,
That
wait,
makes
it's
sense.
plastic. But plastic it's still a man-made material, right? So where
Right.
a skin, the stability of it comes from how it is cured after it's been removed, and it's a byproduct. And since it's a byproduct of an industry that isn't going to go anywhere, called the meat industry, you might
Yeah.
as well use the leather for something. And most of the
Yeah.
leather
Sure.
is tossed out anyway. I'm like,
Yeah.
great. But I'm like, okay, maybe I'm going down the rabbit hole on this one.
We're getting a little too far into it, but yeah, the girl did say in the it was a very fun, very interesting. I'll try to link that if I can in our
Yeah.
description box down below. But the very idea of it to the fashion houses, in one way, it's free marketing for them because if they're super fakes, people don't know when it's actually Chanel walking down the road or it's, that's a Chinese knockoff bag. It just says CC Chanel. So it makes you desire when you see your friends or somebody walking down the road with a really nice bag. I mean, if I see a bag that I'm crazy about, I get to, oh, let me look at this. What is that? I don't go specifically like, oh, let me go hunt down. That's probably a fake.
No.
So it's a two-way street to them. Like, yes, it's probably taking some money out of their pockets, I guess. I mean, they'll say that, but
But
also it's free marketing. It's always free marketing for them. You see a Louis Vuitton bag, you see LV, you don't see, oh, Chinese fake. You're not, oh, let me
well,
go to a
what's
Chinese fakery right now.
I think the best thing design houses have done, honestly, has done like the Fendacci, has done what's it called, the collaborations,
Collabs, yeah.
because for me, when I saw the Fendacci, I'm like, that is fake as F, and that's not fake at all. That's legit. I'm like, but I'm looking
I
at
know.
that, like, who matched up those two brands? And
Yeah.
but so now it's like, well, now that we're used to seeing all these weird collabs and these micro releases and these
Yeah.
100 billion different styles that Louis keeps throwing at us, it's like I can't tell a
I
real
can't
thing
tell.
or
Yeah.
because there's so many micro releases. It's like, well, was
Yeah.
that from which collection was that? Like, did you do that? And then you're like, well,
Yeah.
they
I
all look like
saw
this
a
toy.
I think I told this story one time that I did see a lady in Ulta, and I've seen her there with her kids a couple of times. Her daughters are grown, and they always look so nice. She's a very short, spiky haircut like me. She's just dressed to the nines, and she's always got a fancy bag. But I know that her bags are fake, and that's fine because she had an on-the-go PM one day, and it was pink and green. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I wanted to go up to her and say, I know that's a fake, but where did you get, like, can I trade you something for what will you take for that bag? Because I was
Well,
just so like, I don't care if that's a real bag. I want a pink and green on the go too. That thing was gorgeous. But
so growing up in Thailand and visiting, we always saw fake bags on the street, always.
yeah,
Um, to the point where we never actually bought them. And you would not believe the bags that we actually carried were, and of course, this is in the 80s and 90s. Guy LaRoche, the perfume,
yeah,
well, he did
mhm,
fashion. Hugo Boss, Armani, all
yeah,
of these. That's okay. So Thailand, people wanted, um, they liked logos, but people my mom was around in the society we were at, they wanted a certain type of logo. So
okay,
they would go with more classic, streamlined looks because the thing about large logos is first, it doesn't always go with everything you're wearing.
no,
And second, it they really it's so weird. They always wanted European designers. And I told my mother, like, Mom, I don't understand this. I said, look, all these European people are coming over to Bangkok because I mean, if you're in Bangkok, you don't even have to speak Thai. There's so many foreign speakers, mostly Germans, but
yeah,
you can speak English and you can get around, right? So they're coming there for custom made suits because my uncle had a silk shop and he did custom they specialized in men's suiting and they actually had a
okay,
women's section, and people would come and in 3 days they'd go and they would have this most gorgeous well fitted amazing silk suit
Yeah.
you ever seen. And I said, but everybody here, all of our Thai family, they want stuff from Europe and they're paying. And here's the deal. If you've ever been to Southeast Asia, it is hot and it is
Okay. Oh yeah.
humid. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not wearing this synthetic materials. Like, this is too hot here to wear this. I mean, give me
Oh god.
cotton all day long.
Or
And it's
linen, either one.
or yeah, and then
Yeah.
here they are buying all these foreign imports. They're not made for our climate, but they want the brand, they want the label. This is why Asia is like the biggest market for goods because they are consumers. They make
Yeah.
Americans look like nothing when it comes to
Oh
design.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like we're here and they're yeah.
Which is
People complain
why don't
about what we buy, but they
uh-huh.
really buy. Yeah.
Well, we buy a different type of good. They really buy high end and they want the newest thing and they wanted it yesterday. And they will
Yeah.
do anything to get that thing.
Yeah.
And
They
there's
turn
a
over a lot.
huge
Hmm.
importation tax on luxury goods. So it isn't exactly the price listed on the website. There's a tax on those. It's like so
Yeah.
yeah, so when I went to go visit my cousin, the first Louis I ever purchased was not even for myself. I bought one of those little pochettes, the
Hmm.
for two at the time it was $200. It was like the early
Yeah.
2000s, right? So I
Yeah.
bought it at the Saks Louis. I even registered it because I said, "Oh, here's the registration card. Let me register
That's
this thing."
cool. Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
flew over to Thailand, handed it to my cousin, and say, "Here." She was like, "Because there, that $200 purse is now a $400 purse."
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, or more, and they can't even get it, you
Yeah,
know?
and they sell a lot of their. That's why Japanese sellers are so huge.
Yeah,
Is
they don't want
simply
those
because
things. Yeah.
yeah,
The Japanese people themselves, they don't want those old things. So those, "Oh, it's vintage." Us, we think that's cool. For them, we're like, "That's old."
yeah, yeah, and I've heard it even 6 months out. If it was last season, they're like,
Oh, no.
no, we need. I'm gonna get spring, summer 23, and then by Christmas they're on to the next year's whatever. So yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I get it. I do that myself. I like to, if I see something that comes out that I just really, really want, of course. I'm gonna sell things. That's why I swear to you guys, I should rent only. I should rent because I never keep anything. But you give a lot of your stuff away, which is nice. I can tell you're a
Well,
good person because you give a lot away.
I can't
Yeah.
keep it all, and I found when I tried to do reselling, when I tried when I say I sold my own things. I did not buy things to sell.
Yeah.
So I looked at things differently, and the things I'm selling, I'm already selling at a huge loss, and people don't necessarily trust things that are too cheap. So if I marked it too low, they didn't want it. If I marked it too high, no one bought it. And
Yeah.
then if I gave it away, then like, all of a sudden 5 people would say, "Oh, I would love that bag. Why didn't you tell
Of
me I would have
course.
taken it?" I'm like, "Where were you 5 minutes ago when I gave
Right.
this away?"
Yeah.
So and then the weirdest thing that's happened to me is I have just only now started posting my bags. Like last year, I had decided no more hiding my bags in the closet, no more not sharing with my
Yeah.
friends. So I started posting online, and then my family did not know. They did not know.
Oh.
Um, and all of a sudden, my mother's like, when did you get this bag? What happened?" Like, I was like, because my dad died, a whole bunch of my family fell like dominoes, and I kind of went through this midlife crisis. So it's just like,
Yeah.
if I liked it, I bought it. So then I had too many, and you don't know if something works for you unless you use it, right? So
Yeah.
then I'm stuck with a bag I'm not using. I'm like, "Look, I have too many bags. You like this one? Would you like it?" And they're like,
Yeah. What's
"Sure,"
the
but
catch?
so as I've been posting all these photos, I have family members that are like, "I love that bag." And my mom outright asked for one. I'm like, "Wait, what? What? You want this one of all the bags I own? This is the one you want? Of
Yeah.
course. Yes, I'll send it to you."
That's awesome. That's sweet. Man. Ed, let's see here. Oh, Sin. Hi, babes. Sin has come in. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Chris says Amtrak is wonderful. It's beautiful and the seats are spacious. Yeah, we were talking about
They
that.
are.
Ed came in. Ed, are you still here? Although I'm not going to lie, that fake cherry speedy you had when he aged pretty well. It did. That one was a. I think that was the very start of the super fakes. Like that one, they really like, oh, we're gonna get some people, and they did. That was a good super fake, yeah. Though, yeah, for saying it was real, right? But there wasn't like when the internet first, it was the wild west on the internet. Like you could sell, you could buy. I know that you could buy pharmaceuticals without,
Oh yeah.
you could do things
Hmm.
back then from places I don't even know where they're India, pharmaceutical place, because we received a package one time and I didn't order it. I did not order it, but we did receive a little brown, and it had the return shipping was somewhere in India.
Oh.
And yeah, I had no clue. And I opened it. It was 300, um, what's equivalent to Valium. Yeah.
Oh my
And
god.
I got the package, and then I was like, "Did you go online and mistakenly?" He was like, "No, no, I'm not ordering anything." Because Bill did this one thing one time where he bought vitamins, and they said, "Oh, you're gonna pay the shipping." Then they sneakily the shipping, then they turn around and send you more, and charge you. So I had to get that off of the. So then I had to call the bank, and then finally from somewhere we had no clue. $300 got sucked out of my account. So I assume it's all from where Bill had bought originally, like these
Hmm.
vitamin. He takes like elderberry. He's a big, multivitamin. Like I never take enough vitamin. But he's very good with his supplements and vitamins. So he was just trying to, get a good deal. It's free. I
Hmm.
go, babe, nothing's ever free. Like, don't you put in a credit card? That means they're gonna charge you. So anyway, our debit card got hacked, and then we got that package. Then we got hacked for the money, and I was like, whoa, hold up, stop. So I took it down to the bank. I took the package and everything to the bank. And my banker lady was like, this has been probably 15 years ago, I guess, at least. And she said, I have to have you, before I can refund your money, I have to have you turn this in police station because this is a schedule whatever narcotic. And I was like, okay, let me go down there. So then we go up to the window and we like talk to the guy. He's usually like, you got a parking ticket, go that way. And I'm like, yeah, we're here to turn in some drugs. And he was like, what now? And I said, we are literally here to, he said, I'm going to get a detective. I don't know what to tell. I can't take these. And I was like, all right, here you go. And so then he took us into like a mysterious, like, I guess, like NYPD blue room, it's being recorded. I don't know. And he goes, where'd you get these? I go, we don't know. Here's the return address. Follow the trail. I don't say. It was, you didn't order this. I said, now why would I be here if I ordered 300 tablets of
Oh my
Valiums?
god.
He goes, well, why are you giving them to me? I go,
What am I supposed to do with them?
I said, I have little kids for one thing. I don't need 300. They were in little bubble packs too.
Yeah.
Like you see
Oh my
Fed
god.
comes in,
Blister
you know
pack.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, little bubble
Mhm.
packs. And I was like, well, we don't need them for one. We don't want them. He goes, in all my years of doing detective work, I've never had anybody turn in value. Do you know what street value is this? And we said, no, we don't. We don't know what we're doing with this. So, and he took it and he just simply shoved it in a drawer. He made us sign a little form, and then he gave us the receipt. I took it down to the banker lady, and she gave us our money back. It was like a whole thing, though. I mean, now they investigate. You call a number, they investigate. But this was the Wild West. So yeah, that
That is
totally
crazy.
happened. I mean, you could do anything. So that's what I'm saying. All that to say, like, posting a fake bag and saying it was real was not that got by people. I'm not the only one that got faked. I did get my money back on several things. I didn't get my money back on that one because I wanted to keep it.
I didn't know they were fakes that I had purchased.
Yeah,
And I got them through eBay. This is early on in my bag collecting journey. I bought, oh, it's vintage. I was like, well, I don't know. I've not seen that logo type. Oh, it's an older logo type. And then I got really cheap, right? So I was like,
yeah,
oh, that's great. It's a wonderful bag. And then I did research and I didn't know about reverse image Google and I didn't know
yeah,
about how to find anything. I didn't know anything. I saw a cool old bag. I'm like, that's a cool old bag. And I didn't know,
yeah,
I didn't even know people were faking. Like, why are you faking a Coach bag? It's only a $300 bag to start with. You
Exactly.
know, it's like
Exactly.
I don't get that. And then they're like, well, then it's profit's profit, right? So
Yeah.
I have bought all the ones that I have purchased that were fake, I have gotten rid of before I knew I should have destroyed them. I didn't know,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just like, so now I just stick with contemporary bags. I don't even try anymore with vintage or
Yeah.
restoring things like that poor. Uh, did you want? You probably didn't watch it, but the handbag housewife, she just did a video where she had purchased from a Japanese seller a strap, and she compared it with Candy's, because Candy has the same strap, and they couldn't tell the difference. And it turns out she had sent it to LV to have it repaired or something, and they said, "I'm so sorry, this isn't our product." And there, she's like, "What?" Yeah, and she
Was it
bought it from
leather?
a
Was
well,
it
it
Vacetta?
was a canvas. It was a canvas strap
Oh,
from
okay. Yeah.
LV, and she
Yeah.
just was having a screw replaced, and then and then she had to contact the Japanese. So I don't know what the resolution was, but people say, well, it's safer to buy it through Japan. But if they're even being fooled, and they have strict laws, um,
Well, the thing is though, here's the thing with Japanese sellers, because I have bought, I can't even tell you, Jackie, it's hundreds, and I mean I have bought tons, tons and tons. Some of it I buy, like I sent you a luggage tag. So that
mhm,
was Japanese seller who just lumped a bunch up. There were four in there that were different colors, right? So there was a
mhm.
black one, fawn, there was a green one, and a brown, like a bean one.
Already moved it. Mhm,
So
mhm,
I got these for such a great deal, but he threw in six that were just Vacetta. And I really didn't want those because those don't bring much. But those other ones, I made my money back on one
mhm,
tag. So I do that quite a bit. But the thing is, so here's what I've learned about a Japanese seller. They're very accommodating. They're very helpful. So I know if I get something and I have it authenticated and it's not real, number one, I can contact them quick and they get right back. Usually their nights and our mornings are right. So if I contact them tonight, in the morning, I definitely will have an answer. So, or if I contact them in the morning at night. So it's like that. You know what I mean? When they're
mhm.
at work, we're asleep and vice versa. But I always get instantly, oh, wow. And they're so not, they're like, oh my gosh, wait, okay, send that back to me. And they have,
But they're pretty.
usually the bigger sellers will have a place here that won't cost them much. That, like California is a
Mhm,
place that I sent it. I bought a bag once and I kept it for probably 20, right up to the 30 days, even maybe after. I want to say I kept it for a long time. It just wasn't going to work for me. I was just like, I can't sell this bag. I'm definitely don't want to carry it. So I contacted, they were like, oh yeah, just send it back to this. And they refunded me fully. It got there in no time. So I sent it back to California, but it came from Japan. So they must have like a local, like a place, a hub in the States that they deal with. And then they bulk ship the stuff back to resell, or they resell. I don't know how it works, but I've never encountered any problem that as soon as I've had an issue, I reach out to them and they're like, hey, we're so sorry. You know what? Send it back. Here's your shipping label. No question. They don't even, I've never had to even get eBay involved.
mhm.
Now, I bought a couple of fake pairs of sneakers, as you know. Yeah, that whole thing. Oh no, they were gone. They like moved shop. And then I get an email like after the fact. eBay refunds me. They had already sent out the sneakers. They were fake anyway. They got so pissed. They kept hounding me. Then they found me on WhatsApp, hounding me and hounding me and hounding me,
What?
like, give me my money. And I finally had to block them. But yeah, eBay was cool. They were like, let us know if you have any problems. I'm like, they're attacking me on WhatsApp right now. They're looking for me everywhere. They were like,
Well,
we sent you the goods. You got me. I go, listen. eBay's the one that intervened before I even got these. Like, that was your fault. So that happens. But yeah, Japanese sellers, I'm never afraid to. Anything
but
over 500. If it's not over 500,
I
then I
think
get
her item
worried
was
that they
under.
don't.
I think it was like 300 or something. That can't be right. I don't know. But no, so
Yeah.
the thing about I'm a pre-love buyer. I love pre-love things. I like
Yeah.
talking to people. I like finding people's things, like rescuing things. I like oh, that belonged to somebody, let me keep it in my collection and give it a new life. Because that's to me the ultimate form of sustainability, is that you continue to use a thing versus replace a thing or just get rid of it, right? So somebody
Yeah,
is getting rid of it, but for
yeah.
me it's new. For
It's
me
the
it's a new
circle
item.
of life.
Yeah.
It's
So
you know.
so I was buying, if you've seen my last current video on my Goodwill, what was interesting was my Goodwill, shopgoodwill.com, they had authenticated that Dooney. I mean, it's
Mhm.
Dooney, and they've had to authenticate it,
Yeah,
and they give you the certificate. They're paying this secondary service. Hopefully, these authentication people are actually volunteering their service to
yeah,
Goodwill, but
yeah,
I don't know because it was a $12 bag. I
yeah. Yeah, I'm okay if I get sent something that's a little off, because I
mean,
remember, yeah, I can remember buying Doonies out of the trunk of a girl's car once, yeah, and now I know, oh, these, mm-mm. But then I got wise to it and actually bought myself an actual, but it's they faked those really hard in the 90s. They faked the crap, especially the one that I had, that like satchel with the duck on the front. You remember,
oh,
trimmed in the leather? Yeah, you probably got one.
I have not shown you this. I just bought this.
Oh my god, yes!
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, that's a cool looking bag. Like that.
this
Yeah.
this is the vintage.
It
I
looks
love this
good.
bag. I
It
haven't done
looks
a
good.
video on this one. I'm actually gonna probably take off the leather strap and put a strap that I can really use. Um,
Yeah.
and that's what I've also learned with my handbag journey is modify it. It don't work
Yeah.
for you, change it. If you don't like the way it looks, make it work for you. Just do something. I mean, if you don't like the strap, change the strap. You don't like the leather,
Exactly.
dye the leather. Because Ed, who's watching us, his video,
Oh,
he dyed the fascetta on. I was like, what happened
oh
to
yeah, Ed don't care. He will do it. He will do. I love Ed. I love Ed. If you guys haven't watched Ed, go over and check him out. Oh, Birkin
Hey,
Boy,
Don's
how
here.
is Memphis? Oh my God. Miradon, hi, sweets. Guarantee you that 90% get through. You're. It's actually more than that, Miradon. It's 95, I think. Yeah, Birkin Boy, hi, sweets. Chris says everyone has to take care of their family. Blame capitalism, not the individuals. Birkin Boy says hello. Brooke says hello. Miradon says yes. Nobody breeds cattle for their hides, which that's right. I never even thought about it that way, but you're right. You're so right. They just destroy it or mill it all up like they do the rest of the cow they can't use for and they feed it back to them, right? Isn't that what goes
No,
on?
they a lot of the time they don't feed it back to the cows, but they do use it in other food
Okay.
production for
That's
pets.
what I was thinking.
Don't quote
Yikes.
me.
Like the
But here's
byproducts.
I live in Texas, so here's the thing about cows. A calf is $800. These things are not cheap.
They're
You
not.
know, and it takes a lot to raise them, you know?
There has to be some sustainable farms that do use every portion, like the hides and everything. Why not? Why wouldn't they?
Well, the key to the hides, because most cows are sent to feedlots that are sent to slaughter, and then at slaughter, that is where they have to immediately. Because if you don't strip and take care of the skin immediately, it starts to biodegrade, right?
Okay.
So 'cause it's an organic
Oh,
product.
so
It's there's a cold storage method, and there's other methods they can do, but it's how fast they can get the
I
leather
got you.
to the
Yeah.
tannery, and that's how come a lot of it doesn't make it because there's quality issues. Hmm.
Yeah, I got you. Oh,
Hmm.
that makes perfect sense, but it's
Hmm.
such a shame that, just 100 years ago, they killed an animal and used every single portion of that animal, and now we waste so much, right?
Well, we
That's
don't.
crazy.
Okay, I grew up in San Antonio for a long time, and we had a 4-H program where I was at, and my husband, where he grew up, there was a 4-H program and an ag program, and he actually went to Texas A&M, so he is, the expert over
Oh,
there.
he's an
So,
Aggie then,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
So, so, you get to learn a stuff like this, but I don't think it's taught enough to people
No.
about people. There's people who I grew up with who did not understand where meat came from. They just thought it came from the grocery store, legit. It's like you just
Wow. Oh my god. Watch the movie Babe or whatever. Like, yikes. Okay, let's see what we got in here. Brooke says, Jackie, that's really interesting about the sustainability of vegetable tanned leather versus other materials. Jackie is very knowledgeable. If you guys aren't watching Jackie, definitely subscribe and watch her because she is a wealth and a fount of knowledge. I think I said that right.
Lots of useless facts.
But that's good. That's good. That's what we love. And I feel like you go the extra mile. Dawn does this too. You, Dawn, Autumn, I think are the ones that I see do this most. If you don't know about an item, you do study it before you. So that's kind of a cool thing. I just turn the camera on and go, oh, hell, I don't know. Look what I got. Look how pretty, you know. So that's that's the difference between like when I used to work in radio, it was called prepping, and I worked for a while. I had a partner, you know, we did a team thing, morning show team or whatever. And he would always be so pissed because he would prep and do things and produce things and get ready. And he would turn around and say, okay, we're going to do this. Let's get it ready. And I'd just be like, no, 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 turn the microphone on. I got this. And then I would, of course, screw it up. And he'd be like, he would turn the mic off and slowly turn around and be like, prep. We pay for prep. You. So, yeah.
I did not finish grad school, but I went all the way up to my thesis and it was approved. And part of grad school is teaching class. And
Yeah.
I'm older. I was an older grad student. A lot of students now they go right from undergrad to grad with no stop in between. So
Right.
I have a lot to talk about. And it took me 3 hours to teach a 1 hour class for prep because
Wow.
of all those. Because here's the thing, old school, you would just like give them a lecture. No, that's not what you do now. No, there
No.
is lecture, there is audio, there is video, there's YouTube, there's all of it goes in there. It's a PowerPoint presentation,
We
and
didn't get half that when we were in school. What the heck?
well, you have to entertain these 20-year-olds.
I know. You gotta hold their hand, show them how. I'm very amazed when we watch. And not to say my daughter isn't smart. I'll make all three of my kids. I'm blessed to have very smart children, but they got it from Bill, not me. But the thing is, when we are watching something like even a game show, Jeopardy, she loves to watch Jeopardy with us, and there will be like history, and it'll be just like, you know, who was the president during that war, like you don't know, like we had to know those things. She goes, no, I have no clue, like that's what my phone's for, Mom. I'm like, no, you're like you're supposed to know, like come on, who is the president at the turn of the century, like don't you know? She's like, Bush.
Oh,
I'm like, not this century. Yeah, but
speaking of that, reminds me. There was, I think it was Jesse Styles. Somebody, no, it wasn't Jesse. It was Tanner Leatherstein. He was saying, in our cultural consciousness, we have this perception that chrome dyeing or leather tanning is extremely toxic. And we do know it is toxic. But that was because when this came out during the FDR administration, now we're talking presidents,
yeah,
that's when the Food and Drug Administration got started because of the Upton
yeah,
Sinclair book, The Jungle. And if you've ever had, and now when I was in high school, I had to read that. I'm not sure these poor new
yeah.
students have to read this book, but when you read that book about what happened in that book, you're like, oh,
Oh
well, thank
snap.
goodness for the.
Right, yeah,
So I think we have this like perception, oh, leather tanning, because it was in the early 1900s, 1800s, it
yeah.
was super toxic because they weren't disposing of chemicals; they were just letting it go into the river.
Oh
I mean,
my god,
we set
imagine.
fire to the Potomac. You can't. We set fire to a river. It was that polluted.
Yeah, that's like it's yeah. Yeah, kids today though, they just I don't and she says, "Well, it's not our fault. It's that they don't have specific, you know, there's so much. I mean, I get, oh, I dropped my little fake earring, but there's so much you know, to learn, I guess, that I don't know. But anyway, I'm always like, yeah, but you gotta absorb all this stuff because you don't want to be out here and somebody's talking about something you don't know what kind of reference they're talking
Well,
about. Only
to
going
be
back 20
fair,
years.
there is 20 more years of history that they have to learn that I didn't have to
Yeah,
learn. I lived through
yeah,
it.
that's true, and a lot has happened. I'll tell you that, a lot of stuff. So Ed says, I'm still here, girl. Caleb says, I would have died. Chris says, the online world is still absolute bonkers. So true. Dawn, finally home from work. Everybody saying hi to Dawn. Ed says, I love my Japanese sellers. They always take care of me. Me too. I've never had a problem. Miradon says 500 and above eBay will authenticate right. And they will refund you if you authenticate and find what you bought is fake. So true. You guys hear stuff. I've got an extra dog with me today and my grandbaby here. So that's going on downstairs. Dawn says hi to Chris. Chris says, but I also buy from places that are supposedly already authenticating. True. Supposedly, but they're so super fake, guys. Chris, oh yeah, Chris bought a bag from Cassie. He says, should I get it checked? Just kidding. I know she would never know. She would
Wait,
never.
Cassie on YouTube, Cassie?
Yeah,
Wow.
she did her video before last. She did cleaning out with her
Yeah.
friend, her hot friend. I think his name's Christian. Ooh.
I like I actually really love her vlogs because I think she is, like, first of all, the greatest perfect size. And when she did that vlog where she was trying all those jeans, I'm like,
I love
I,
it. Yeah.
I was like, how can that not look good on you? Everything looks good on
Everything
you.
looks great on you. But it's your
But her,
own perception. You see
yeah,
yourself differently than everybody. Like in real life, guys, I'm 125 pounds. Anyhow, Miradon says, I'm a veterinarian. We say of pigs that everything is used but the oink. Oh, that's cool.
that's true. James grew
Yeah.
up raising pigs. He does not have a love for pigs. They're cute
From
when
the
they're
rooter
piglets.
to the tutor.
Yeah, he was fine when they went to slaughter, and he said, "Okay, which pig is this one we're eating?"
Yeah,
They
and
should be
they
mean.
stink. Oh, they
Hmm.
stink. Have you ever been to a pig farm? It's
Oh
horrible.
yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, so Chris, we're looking forward. We're hoping that Chris will show us that bag. He'll do a video on it. That'd be nice. Don says, we say that in Philly regarding Scrapple. Okay, I know what
Yep.
that is. Yeah. Miradon says there's a YouTube channel by a dairy farmer. It's great. He educates. Let me get the name. Okay, it's Loa Dairy Farmer, LOWA Dairy Farmer, all one. Okay, I'm definitely going to check that out. That's cool. Chris said, I read The Jungle in high school. Yeah, I think you guys had to, but it's not something that we were required to read. But Miradon says, just think of all that history they didn't teach us, right? I know. It's just
Actually, I learned a
crazy.
lot about history in college and then I'll tell people today because they'll say something. I'm like, do know that was an American initiative, right? They're like, what? You know
What?
that initiative that Hitler took that we started? They're like, what?
People don't realize, even I've seen these videos where I don't know if you ever saw that viral video of the drunk guy at the lady was just trying to have a nice family reunion at an open, and he was, in her face like, you should go home, and she was like, sir, I'm from Puerto Rico, and he's like, yeah, get out America, and she was like, but you understand that it's U.S. territory, right? And he was like, no, it's not. And we were like, we watched that like, what is happening right now, guys? Seriously. Yeah, there's a lot of like missed education out there. I love that though. I love when like Jay Leno used to go up and down the street and ask those. I think one of them still
It's
does that.
embarrassing.
It is. It's just like,
True.
and you're screaming the answer like, this is the easiest question ever. Like, it's this. But yeah, I love that. We're going to wrap up with Jackie. Jackie, I do want you to tell us what you have planned coming out as far as videos, how people can get you on Instagram and subscribe over here on the YouTubes. Tell us everything. Everything.
Well, I have it's Jack's Back Attack. It's my name, and I on both places. So on Instagram and on YouTube, you can find me there. And I have Not that many followers. I mean, I think I have a ton, but according to all the other numbers, I guess a micro channel. I'm happy for all
We're
my
all
followers.
nano channels or micro right now, and that's okay. Everything below 10,000 is either a micro or nano. I can't remember what they call it, but yeah,
So
that's we're
I'm
all
just
in the same
sharing.
boat.
I'm a contemporary bag consumer. I have maybe 5 luxury, 6 maybe bags, and they're all Louis. Well, unless you count Mulberry in there too, and Longchamp, and I do have a vintage, mostly all used, mostly
Those
mostly
count.
all.
Those count.
So the French contingent, I have some French bags, but mostly they're American. I tend to have mostly American bags, even if they're all made in China now. They're still American brands.
Yeah. Yeah, Dawn was
So-
trying to educate on that us on that the other night. Like some parts are made in China, but they can say made in USA if they assembled the bag here, right? And then how it
yeah,
works. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So pretty
Um.
interesting. I love
So
that you have so much knowledge. So
lots of useless senseless not, which is why I started. This is honestly why I started YouTube. Was like I outgrew the comments. I commented so much that I was writing a novel. I'm like, I might as well just start a video
yeah,
and talk to my friends, because I'm like, at this point I'm
yeah.
just like, yeah, I
Well,
got past the two word.
it's being around people of like mind and who won't say, "Oh my God, you have 85 handbags? That's crazy." No, it's not. It's normal to me and my friends. Like
Only you had 85 handbags.
James spoke up on that one. He was like, "What? Okay, 35 James, and that's it, right?"
He's like, you have 35 just in one cabinet.
Exactly. But to us, that is a normal thing to do because we love and collect. You don't tell a baseball card collector, you have 2 million cards. Are you crazy? No one ever says that.
That's because
Barbie
baseball
and Beanie
cards
Baby
pick up
collectors,
like
they get
this much
hundreds and
space.
no one says shit to them.
Pokemon cards, those.
Right. Oh, I love to break a box. I'd love to break a box like that. What's his name? Logan? Is that who I'm thinking of? The like mega, I don't know, one of those crazy YouTubers. He, you know,
Oh,
yeah, he breaks
yeah.
those Pokemon boxes, he buys for all this money. I think he pays like $300,000 for a box or something. I'm like, I wish I had a box to sell you.
But we
Serious.
actually collect a lot of things. We collect board games. We collect. James collects Legos. I collect handbags, and I've been collecting handbags for 25 years. And that's the problem: is that the handbags don't disintegrate. They don't expire. They don't go anywhere. They stay.
Yeah.
So the handbag I used in high school, I still have it.
Oh, Cammy finally came around. Hey, Winnie and hey, Jackie. Cammy says hi. Well, everybody is saying your channel is great, and we're hopefully, you know what, you just keep plugging along. It's and I say this to everyone, not that I am an authority because I'm not, but I feel like from watching the bigger channels, it's perseverance that wins, that gets the whatever, because you're gonna go through 5 subscribers every month, and then you're going to go to 200 in a month. It's going to do that. It's just the way
Well,
that it
you know,
is.
the weirdest thing to this date, the video that has had the most views on my channel, and I've only been around a month and a half, is the first one I did with Dawn. And the only thing I can think of is the title, the way I had worded
Yeah.
it. Because I'm like, why did that one get 700 views? I didn't even have a I didn't even have the good camera. I was
I
like,
mean, it's always, I post a video and I think, like, I posted that Etsy video last week, like, Etsy look-alike jewelry I bought. And I just thought, oh man, everybody will love this video. And it struggled to even get 1,000 views. So, oh, that bag is gorgeous. Yeah, I like that bag. It's giving me
Tammy just
Bottega
said something.
vibes.
Yeah.
It really does. It gives me the Bottega vibes. I love that.
I
Yeah.
grew up with these woven bags. Like everybody says Bottega now, but when I was growing up, like these were like everybody had a woven bag. I actually have
Yeah.
one from Hobo International, and I had shoes that looked like this from Bass.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's like this is not new Bottega.
Right, right. You didn't invent the wheel here, right? Well, everybody, thank you so much for coming by. Jackie, I so appreciate you going live with me.
Oh, it's
And
been a blast.
you and I always will have conversations on the side and
You have
Instagram.
You have two talkers on one show.
Oh my God. We're like, oh God, we could sit here and probably ponder this all night, but I got to go feed some people. And, you know, I'm eating plants now, so it's going to take 10 bushels of whatever. Actually, strawberries are in season. So, like, we just bought
Nice.
2 big things of strawberries, fresh strawberries. So I'm like, oh, I never thought in my life I would be like, a fresh strawberry, let me at it.
James grew up in strawberry capital of Texas.
Really?
Not even kidding. Called Poteet, Texas. Small, tiny town.
Yeah, the town here is called Unicoi, that does the strawberry capital
It
of
makes a
our
difference.
world.
If you've ever had a locally grown strawberry versus a California one, there is a huge difference in how sweet they are.
Yeah,
He can't
totally
even
a
eat.
different
He can't eat California strawberries. Like, these are not
Well, they
strawberries.
have to pick them. The
Yes,
thing is that
green. They pick them green.
yeah, they pick them green so they can travel. But these are fresh picked, ripe strawberries you got to eat now, and I'm so like, ah! But this is the first year that we won't get strawberries locally and make shortcakes with this. You know, we usually cap them all and then cut them up and then put like 5 cups of sugar. No, we're just gonna have the natural sweetness of that damn strawberry. But anyway, Jackie, I love you, and I hope you have a good night. I will talk to you on Instagram in a little bit. Guys, thank you so much for coming, and we will see you next week. And don't forget, this weekend, we have videos coming out. Please watch. Okay, bye.